My name is Jeremy, and this is a bonus series of the Good Beer Matters podcast from the 2022 Craft Brewers Conference. Every year, the Brewers Association puts together the Craft Brewers Conference, or CBC, as a means for industry professionals to continue their education, network with peers, and improve quality and performance. I attended this year's CBC as a member of the media, and because there are plenty of beer pros that didn't make it, I want to share a few of the many exhibitors that I think you ought to know about. Some of these companies I'm already familiar with, and I personally know they're doing great things. But some I recently discovered and thought were cool enough to share with you. Either way, I hope you enjoy this highlight of CBC 2022. Oh, and by the way, I have not been compensated by any company to produce this series. I simply want to help good things get out into the world. Why? Because good beer matters, of course. Thank you for listening. Cheers.
Here we are again at CBC, the kind of last day.
Yes, sir.
Everyone looks exhausted, happy, blissed out, and not looking forward to 1,000 emails to send out on Monday. But this is one of the things that I'm passionate about, is just education. But we're talking about UC Davis and continuing education. But first of all, who are you? What do you do?
So my name is John Hughes. I am the Director of Brewing and Sensory Science at UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education. So we are a self-supported division of the university. We are focused on continuing education. So people who are already in the workforce, who are looking to upskill, looking to reskill. And so, we have programs covering everything from, nursing to programming, brewing and winemaking. I oversee the brewing part of things. And so we have, our flagship is the Master Brewer Certificate program, which is a 15-week in-person program. Yeah. And it covers all of the kind of science and technical aspects of brewing, and there's some experiential learning in there as well. Students get to come into the brew house and brew on the pilot brewery. But we also do, online seminars. We do online classes. We actually just debuted our online Master Brewer Certificate program. So we took all that curriculum that was in the 15 weeks. We spread that out into 7 different courses, and you can take that over. It's an 18-month kind of program. So that way people don't have to quit their job, uproot their lives, and move to Davis. Yeah. And they can just...
That's one good thing that came out of COVID, is you can stay at home and do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
Today I want to talk about, because, I know UC Davis is, there's a few, but UC Davis is one of them, one of the powerhouses of brewer education and winemaker education and all that stuff. But you have a bunch of continuing education for not the person who's trying to figure out what they want to do with their life and their brewing career, but after they've gotten that brewer job, after they're in the profession, and they want to continue to get better and improve. That's what continuing education is for.
Exactly.
And you're serving that audience, correct?
Indeed, yeah. So the continuing is the key word there. Yeah. And we have people that just come back every year and they take the new classes that we are offering. So we've got the baseline, the foundation that you can use to be a brewer somewhere, but then we also have the continuing part of that, where people come in and they say, oh, I need to learn about this new product or process that's happening, and we're trying to stay in touch with the industry and make sure that we are covering the topics that are hot right now.
So what are some of the classes that you offer for professionals that need to continue to step up their game?
So we have a quality series, and this one it's an online program, and so it has, I think, 5 courses in it, all taught by Charlie Bamforth, and it covers things like foam and flavor stability, and it is basically just how to analyze your beer, how to make sure you are actually measuring the right things to see, you get some quantifiable data to measure the quality of your beer. And so that's a big part of that. But then there's the sensory component as well, right? Because we don't drink with a GC mass spec. We drink with our mouths.
Yeah.
And so you got to have the combination of that sensory and analytical.
Yeah. And so this is good for someone who, like, okay, I've been a brewer for 10 years. Maybe I want to go to the QC lab and kind of change my role, or try something different. This is how they get their education.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Perfect.
And so yeah, this is the buzzwords in our industry are upskilling and reskilling. So
Nice.
People who want to kind of move into a different space in their industry or move into the brewing industry, and they already have an education. Maybe they got a college degree somewhere, and this is just giving them that little boost that they need to get into the space they want to be in.
Awesome. So I think all of this, at least for me, all of this is to serve one purpose, and that's to deliver a better drinking experience to the consumer, to the customer. Which part of that is beer, part of that is science, but that's only one tiny little part of a larger whole. First of all, how do you define a good drinking experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. And for me, I would say it's all about the community, right? Your local brew pub, public house, whatever you are going to go to, but it is, we have this. We have these stickers that say beer, it's science in a glass.
You mean this one that found its way in my back pocket?
But what I always say, beer is it's blank in a glass, right? It's history in a glass.
Yeah.
It's culture in a glass. And I think that having the seeing all the different breweries that are here today, but even around the world, is you have some amazing just cultural injections into the brewing industry. And so for me, that's where the true magic is.
Well, a couple nights ago, to kind of illustrate that point, we went to a local British pub here in Minneapolis, and I found a Fuller's ESB on tap. And I had two of them. So that was the two cheapest trips to England I've ever taken.
Exactly.
And it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That was some Scottish eggs. It was fantastic.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great.
But so how does your continuing education facilitate that drinker's experience?
Yeah. So we're always conscious of trying to make the content that people really need. And so 30 years ago, people were coming to us and they would go through a program and they'd go work for Bud Miller Coors, and they'd be in a big brewery. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, people are coming in, they want to open their own breweries.
Yeah.
And so we are trying to tailor our curriculum so that they can have the knowledge that they need. I bring in a lot of guest speakers for our program, and one of the big things I like to do is just bring in the local brewery, right?
Yeah.
The community people. So Oak Park Brewing in Sacramento has done an amazing job of just creating this space in Oak Park, Sacramento. And I brought them in. They had a really nice panel discussion with us. And then they actually invited our students out for a brew day, and now they're doing a collaboration. So, and this is totally independent of what I was.
Yeah.
I brought them in. That's it.
Yeah.
But that's the
great.
community that is important. That's
awesome. So if anyone wants to reach out and continue their continuing education, where can they go? I imagine they just look up UC Davis Brewing or something like that.
Yeah. So if you look up UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education,
okay.
We have a website, and we've got pages on the brewing program. We've got pages on
Easy to find.
Easy to find.
Easy to find. Great. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for helping proliferate more continuing ed for the industry.
It's a pleasure.
Cheers.
Thank you.